we have some challenges in trying to measure raw bin pickup. So see the difference here? This is as far apart as the Vac Life comes, and of course the Aramo, the bin with the internal assembly and premotor filter, comes right off. So with the Oraimo, the raw bin figure is going to be 400.58 grams, including the cyclone and the premotor filter. And for the Vac Life, the raw bin motor, premotor filter, cyclonic assembly, blah, 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 but not including the battery, starts out at 947.6. Remember, this scale I can only measure down to a tenth of a gram. This one can go down to a hundredth of a gram because it measures, well, lighter weights. You know, I'll go ahead and revise that to 947.5. Greetings once again, Vac fans. Today we have something somewhat unusual. We have a head-to-head of a mega dirt pickup test with an Oraimo here on your right, my left, and a Vac Life on your left, my right. So let's move the Oraimo out of the way. And we're going to do 3 tests. The first one is going to be a carpet shredder test by doing 10 cycles of dry pass on a totally clean carpet, cleaned by a Kirby Avalier. I'm going to run all these machines in their highest possible modes. So if you run them at a lower mode, obviously you would get lower pickup. Okay, here we go. That's all the way up. Okay, we have 10 cycles. So now let's see how much carpet made it into the bin, if any. These types of tests somewhat preclude the idea of doing a raw bin weight. So here's the extracted amount of carpet. Yeah, I don't think this is going to have any weight to it at all, but we'll weigh it anyway. Yeah, nothing. It didn't move anything. Here's a small little rock that it got, a little chip. And now on with the Oraimo, which has a completely different brush roll. Here we go with the dry pass test. Am I seeing anything in there? I'm looking. Oh, very tiny. And once again, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to attempt to measure the entire dust cup and cyclone assembly, because what we get, this is the extracted amount, doesn't add up to anything. So it was even less than the Vac Life. So still at 0 on medium pile carpet. If you wondered why I turned my carpet sideways, is so we can do 2 of these tests and we can just split the carpet in half. So we'll start out with the Vac Life, and as usual we have 5 grams of sand and 10 grams of baking soda. So there's enough distance here that we won't have any type of sample corruption. These heads aren't very wide, so I want to make sure I keep the test area fairly narrow so everything fits in the brush roll width. And we do 2 cycles. Okay, that's where we are. We're set up. We're going to run on high as usual. Okay, that's high. Here we go. Okay, now let's see if we picked anything up. So I'm looking. Yep, I definitely see some. So the question is, did the VL732 pick up enough sand that we have useful measurements as far as raw bin weight? Oh, and it did. Okay, so I'll take 948.0 minus 947.5. Well, that literally is just half a gram. So if we used 5 grams and it picked up a half a gram, that means that the raw bin weight would literally be 10%. Now let's look at extracted. So don't worry about the glare. I will figure that out in a minute. So if we get all the sand out that normally comes out. Remember when I did the tree needles? So those are easy to pull out. Believe it or not, they don't add any appreciable weight. Here's a tiny bit of carpet fluff. So we clean the sample up a little bit. And that's a good clean sand pickup. So let's see what it measures. And we have something you can't see. There, that'll do it. So a little more than 1/4 gram. So 0.28 divided by 5. Move the decimal place. And extracted, we're looking at about 5.6%. And now on to the fine dust test. Will it pick up more fine dust than sand, or vice versa? And you could still see, if you look real closely, because this is being recorded in 4K, that there is some type of red that's still left in that general vicinity. So we're not collecting. Keep moving here. All right, here goes. Say bye-bye. Do we have any pickup? Yeah, well, it's kind of turned the bin whitish. Raw bin pickup. Will it tip the scales? Will it be better than sand pickup? Oh, that looks pretty good. So let's see, 948 point, I'll call it at 8, minus 947.5. That gives us 1.3. Now that's out of 10 grams. So move the decimal place, and we end up with 13%. Now that's going to be the fun part. It's kind of all over the inside of the bin, but how do you get that out? How do you get as much of it out as possible? Well, I'm not going to do anything that is unreasonable. I'm not going to do anything different than what the average person would do. Give it a little tap. Dump as much as you can. I'm not going to take the cyclonic assembly out, but there's more tree needles. By the way, that's not in my carpet down here. That's because it keeps getting stuck in there. So it's a pretty clean pickup. I will remove the extraneous amount, and let's weigh the extracted amount. So extracted via normal and typical means, we're at 0.25, 0.24, I'll call it at 0.24 grams out of 10, and we don't really need a calculator for that. That's going to equate to 2.4% extracted. We're done with the Vac Life. Let's move on to the Aramo. Get that out of the way. Let's see what it does with 5 grams of sand. Yep, pretty small head, so I have to concentrate things a little bit more than I normally do. Okay, running on high. Here we go, 2 seconds. See, do I see anything in the bin? I do. Raw bin pickup. See, I got something. So we did 0.87 minus 0.58. We got about 0.29 grams. Divide that by 5 and move the decimal place over. We have a raw bin pickup of 5.8%. And now for extracted. Okay, let's pull this out of there. One cyclone away. I'll just set it over there. And let's dump what we have. Don't want to spill it. All right, there's a pretty clean pickup. I just have to get that little tiny, there, it's so staticky. And after I cleaned it, wasn't really that dirty. We have let's see, what's it going to stabilize at? I'll call it 0.16. Now that's out of 5 grams. Move the decimal place, and we are at 3.2%. Last test. Definitely a smaller head to deal with than a full-size upright or canister vacuum, to be sure. All right, say bye-bye. Well, I definitely saw it coming into the bin. The question is, how much is it? Raw bin pickup with everything in there. Premotor filter, the metal separator. Okay, I think we're stabilized. So 402.39 minus 400.58. So out of 10 grams, we got 1.81. And if I just move the decimal place over a little bit, we can see that we're at 18% raw bin pickup. Now for extracted. So I'll show you how dusty the cyclonic separator is. And there probably is some dust on the underside of this as well. Yep, so that will accumulate stuff that's going to have to be blown out once in a while. Here's what's inside the bin. So this should be fairly easy to dump. Just want to be very careful not to make a mess. All right. That's a very clean pickup. You can see the bin's obviously coated. And might as well take these little green pieces out. Although I know that they just literally won't make any measurable difference. They're way too small, way too light. All right. Extracted dust. And we're at 1.16. And all I really have to do, since it's out of 10 grams, is just move the decimal place. So we'll call it at 11.6, which would round to 12%. And that would be extracted. I have got a boatload of sand and baking soda in that carpet. So let's see, for cleanup this time, what vacuum haven't you seen in a while? It may look very old style, but its performance is fantastic, and it's so powerful it can actually pick up dirt through a pile carpet that is, well, flow through like this one. Oh boy, look at that. Come on, you have seen here. So, we're seeing here. This is the type of mess that stick vacs are really rated for. If you wanted to know why you didn't see a whole lot of baking soda on the floor when I flipped the carpet over, it's because the sanitaire has not only so much airflow, but huge airflow density. It's got a very small opening, relatively speaking, and it frankly sucked it up right through the pile itself. So, sand? Nope. Fine dust buried into the carpet? Nope. Red stains? Gone. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.